but it is a Category 1 now, and just putting on our enhanced satellite imagery, it is much weaker, but it blew up so quickly, really just overnight, really just shot up in intensity, hit Mexico, and now is weakening very quickly over that mountainous terrain that, of course, tends to break up tropical systems and disrupt their organization. So there's Otis. Here is Tammy. This is on the Atlantic side. Of course, these are considered kind of two separate basins and two separate everything lists for names and things like that. But for Tammy, it's now a Category 2 storm. It's out in the ocean. It might eventually sort of meander somewhere near or south of Bermuda, but we're not really expecting it to have a big impact on land areas, aside from maybe a threat for Bermuda later. So we will see. But for us, we have breezy conditions the next couple of days. We stay warm and partly cloudy all the way through the weekend, and then we have our big cool down coming for Halloween. And I have to say, it is looking even chillier. Like I was saying, some models showing 50s for highs on Halloween. So might want to create or adjust your costume plans accordingly. We'll get into that in a second, but first, partly cloudy skies, a pretty look to today. You step outside, it feels to me a lot like spring. We're already in the 80s, well into the 80s for most of our spots. We have a breezy kind of feel, so that movement to the air with that slight bit of humidity that we have, definitely not feeling like fall to a lot of us. Currently, sustained winds in the white numbers up to 15 miles per hour. The yellow numbers are showing gusts. That's about 20+ mile per hour gusts. And here are those clouds that you see. We're not expecting a whole lot of rain, but there is certainly some rain with a low pressure area over Texas and extending into the middle part of the U.S. We're really just looking for our highs about where they have been lately, mainly in the middle 80s. And then later tonight, we'll be back in the 70-degree range south of the lake. Overnight lows north of the lake in the 60s, and we should continue with enough of a breeze to prevent a lot of fog formation tomorrow morning, just like we saw today. We did not see fog this morning. Here is a little bit of shower action that this model wants to put in. Not sure how much of that we'll see, but there is a low chance for maybe a couple of stray showers. Not a lot of us will see rain. This is into tomorrow, and notice that this area of rain gets close, but watch what happens. It just kind of fizzles out over the western part of Louisiana, and we're left with mainly a dry forecast and just a steady forecast into the weekend. Our winds have come up because we're mainly under the influence of this high. We have that low, which is helping to bring some rain into Texas that we're seeing right now. This is upper atmosphere. And then we have winds between them. So this is in the upper atmosphere. It kind of keeps things moving. And then around the high, notice that where the high is placed to our east, it will continue to bring in these southeast winds. And so that's why we're continuing to just kind of stay the same with that humidity, a bit more moisture, and also just that warm feel. Also, not that much rain. Now, this is the next 7 days, so this is starting to include the beginning of next week when we will actually have that front, which will be moving in, but it doesn't look like we'll get a lot of rain. You saw there maybe a ½ inch or less probably for a lot of people. In fact, I think a ½ inch is too much, but it looks like the front could move in perhaps early in the day on Monday. We're still about a week out almost, so exact timing for Monday could change a bit, but the front moves in Monday. Slight chance for rain maybe late Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. And then as you look at Tuesday, look at those temperatures now. I brought our high down to 67 for Tuesday. This is Halloween, and I don't know, that might be too high. So we may have to continue to adjust that downward depending on how everything shapes up. Again, we're several days out, so things could change a little bit, but very interesting to see the models really latching on to some cold air that might be making its way far south to us. So for Tuesday, it looks like a breezy kind of look. For trick-or-treating time, we would probably be more like falling into the 50s, and then later in the night, maybe even some 40s if you're north of the lake. So a chilly outlook for Tuesday, but we have a lot of warmth to get through, including a warm weekend, but pretty nice weekend overall, Saturday and Sunday.